you just abandon any precaution. You know, folks, something could happen here, and if it does, so what?
Hey friends, welcome to Nathan for Us, the Nathan Fielder fan podcast. My name is Kelly.
And hi, I'm Megan.
And they said it couldn't be done, but we have finally watched the finale of The Curse.
Well, I think they said what couldn't be done is us guessing what happened, and they were correct.
Yes,
They
very
were right.
correct. A shocking finale, I would say.
Yeah, I think if we had 1,000 guesses, we could have never guessed.
No, I don't think so either. Yes, so this is episode 10, Green Queen, is what we'll be talking about today. I do want to say, we were discussing this before the show, and there is some stuff that came out after this season finished of Benny Safdie and Nathan Fielder and a bunch of other people who worked on the show discussing why they did certain things and like why the finale ended this way. We haven't watched any of that content because we kind of, well, one, ran out of time, and two, felt that it might be better to record our own reactions before we get tainted by,
Look,
alternative media.
You've never seen us look intelligent, and we're not gonna pretend today. So we could have listened to everyone else's takes and found out the correct answers, but here we are. We're just gonna go for it. And then similar to the rehearsal where we did an episode kind of reviewing some after show press, maybe we'll review it. And if you haven't watched some Q&As or read some articles about it, we can fill you in on maybe what the correct answer is or what actually happened or if there's any theories that we missed. But also, if you want to send in any voice notes of what your theory was or maybe something that you heard or read about in regards to the curse or just like, how you're feeling that day, anything you want to yap about, feel free to send it into our voicemail.
Yeah, if you want to tell us that we're totally wrong, that's totally fine too.
We'll
won't
probably
take it personally.
find that out ourselves. Thank you, actually.
I think we already know
that
what we're going to say is most likely not what they were going for.
I don't know if they have a confirmed, this is actually what happened out there.
I doubt it. I think they probably have a message that they were trying to deliver. I also not to bring in gender to this whole thing.
Okay.
But I wonder if two women have a different perspective than perhaps Benny Safdie and Nathan Fielder, who are famously two men, might have on the whole season.
But they made the show. They're correct.
Yeah, but
we can't
art
be
is
more correct than them.
Art is meant to be consumed.
But
if they want to come on here and tell us that we're wrong, I invite them to call in and leave a voicemail.
Are you just trying to goat them into coming on?
As if that would work.
Wait, will that work? Do you know how many people on a regular basis ask me if I met Nathan Fielder and I have to say no every time? 2 people today asked me. And probably because of the Spotify Wrapped. Thank you for listening. And if you posted your Spotify Wrapped and we were there, wow, love it. It was the best day of my life.
I almost posted, if you posted us in your Spotify Wrapped, I want to kiss you on the mouth. But I was that is so aggressive. And also I have a cold, so it really sounds threatening.
I just want to punch you in the mouth with my mouth softly.
In a nice way.
But that is how I feel if we are in your Spotify Wrapped. If we're number 1, wow, chill.
Yeah.
Get a hobby.
We love you.
Yeah, wait.
No. Literally don't.
Yeah. We don't
Keep
know how
listening.
to talk to people that like us. We're insulting them and then being don't leave.
Please stay.
Please stay. We care so much. But that was super fun. Thank you for listening. I got a lot of people messaging us defending the other shows that were on their list. One person, they messaged us, but they were like, their number one spot was a sleep cast. So they were like, you're my actual number one because I'm not conscious during this. And it plays a lot of hours because it's like a sleep one. I was like, okay, I'll take your word for it. I believe you. Thank you for clarifying. And then a few other people are like, you're my actual number one. Or like, this one was my number 5, but I only listened to it once. And I'm not the kind of person to listen to this podcast. I was like, it's okay.
Listen.
And then one person tried to send us a photo of their Spotify Wrapped, but because we hadn't chatted before, they couldn't send us a picture. And so then I approved the message, and they had said, oh, do you guys get sent a lot of dick pics? I wasn't able to send you a photo. And I was like, no, actually we're not. I had to approve you DMing us, but send photos away now, not of genitals, but of your Spotify Wrapped. But yes, I thought that was really funny.
We love to see Spotify Wrapped. We have yet to receive a dick pic, and this is not an invitation.
No.
A group who maybe has received some dick pics. I want to talk about something that's been going on the internet for maybe a month that I feel like is giving Nathan Fielder vibes. So I just want to get into this for a few minutes before we begin.
We begin wildly off topic. We will be for a few minutes. And then you can hear about our takes from the last episode of The Curse, because we have not made you wait long enough.
Yes. Okay, I will post in the show notes when we start talking about The Curse.
Yes.
Okay, but I want to talk about Boy Throb
for a moment. Boy Throb. I'm all in on Boy Throb. It's so funny.
Do you want to describe Boy Throb, or do you want me to?
You can, but I just wish that I had the courage to like take an idea like this and really commit to it and be like, oh, I can do this. And maybe that's because I can't sing or dance. And I don't know how we would look in like velour pink jumpsuits. But I think that those are really important parts of being a member of Boy Throb.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know until we try, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were just a couple boys with a dream. So Boy Throb is, I believe, mainly a TikTok channel.
They're on TikTok and Instagram, but they are more popular on TikTok.
Yes. So I originally came across them on TikTok. I went back to figure out when they launched Boy Throb, and it was like around October 28th. I came across their second video on October 29th. And that video was a comment. It was a comment that they made a video about where they had asked their fans, what should we name our new boy band? And so it's these 3 guys. They're in pink velour tracksuits, and they're kind of singing and dancing. And the comment that had the most likes was Epstein's Angels. And I saw that and thought it was very funny. And they said, we can't do that, so we're going to call ourselves Boy Throb instead. So Boy Throb is essentially, I'd say, like, kind of a satire of a 90s boy band, but they have a purpose. And their purpose is that they have a friend named Darshan who lives in India, and they're trying to get 1 million followers on TikTok so that Darshan can get a visa and move to the United States. And so this is why I wanted to talk about this, because this is the most Nathan Fielder, Nathan for you ass plan I have heard in a minute. And they recently did hit 1 million followers, which is amazing. Like, shout out to Boy Throb for that.
So I've seen them on Instagram, and I don't know what it says about us, the fact that I've seen them on Instagram and you're on TikTok. I feel like that makes you more fun and youthful, but I'm going to try to like suppress that. But I thought that they had to get to 1 million fans on Instagram, which they are a lot further behind on Instagram than they are on TikTok. But it is a very, very funny premise. And now, so there's a lot of questions in the air of, are they a real boy band? Are they actually trying to be musicians? Now, one of them actually auditioned for American Idol. I don't have their names in front of me, but he has blonde hair. He looks very boy band. Like, some of these guys can actually sing and dance. Darshan is by far the most popular. Like, he actually has quite a bit of a career going in India. 2 of the guys in America, they have like a history of singing and dancing. And then there's this one other guy who mass posted a bunch of videos to make it look like he had been trying to be a dancer for a long time, but he uploaded them like all within a few days, whereas the other people have like a history of trying to make this a career. So it's all very suspicious. And
Yes, okay.
they have a lawyer that's so funny, which like we love a lawyer, of course, to consult about all these like parody laws and everything.
Yes, a very serious lawyer who just is kind of in the video, is like just there. I hope she actually is a lawyer.
Yeah, so like for example, when they said that they would take any name that had the most votes and Epstein's Angels won, they said, oh, you know, we would have done that for you. But our lawyer said that with the name Epstein's Angels, Darshan's visa will never be approved. And fair.
Yeah. Okay, so I was like, is this a real thing? Can you actually get a visa for having a lot of TikTok followers? So I did look it up, and there is a visa. It's the O1B visa. And essentially, that visa is for people who have sustained national or international acclaim and have achieved distinction in the field of arts. So this is the visa that they're trying to get for Darshan. And the latest video that I saw from Boythrob was them saying that they needed, now that they got the 1 million followers, they need some sort of publication to write about them so that they can get Darshan the visa. And so I was like, is that real? So I did dig deep in the United States government website to figure out what criteria they do need. And I did confirm that that is a part of this visa application. Because I feel like one of my questions was like, is this for real? Do they actually want to get this guy a visa? Like Colin's theory was that this guy's already in the United States. And I was like, no, I feel like he's actually in India. I think they actually are trying to get him a visa.
I think he's in like really big commercials. Like this guy could come to America if he wanted. They just wanted this account to get a lot of followers for sure.
Yeah, but it's very funny. Did you see that there's a rival boy group now too?
Incredible.
So there's like a dueling satirical boy band group, and they're trying to get more followers so that they can perform with Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl, and they're like evil Boythrob. Like they like dress all in black and have like dark hair.
Are they literally called Evil Boythrob?
No, I don't remember what their name is.
They should be called Demon Boythrob and like really capitalize on that Demon Hunter fame.
Yeah, they should be more like K-pop than like Backstreet Boys.
They definitely should have just been Evil Boythrob. That would have been so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is what's going on with
the world.
Boythrob. With the world. But yeah, it is giving Nathan Fielder plot. Watch this space. We'll find out if Darshan gets the visa. We'll find out if this is like for something. I don't know. Maybe they're launching something.
I think their goal is to get a Grammy, which I don't know if they'll get a Grammy. They'll get Darshan to America and they'll get popular. My prediction is that they unfortunately don't get a Grammy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think they're really going to get popular. I think it's like one of those things that's funny, but it does feel pretty flash in the pan.
Yeah, like they'll get popular on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Boythrob, something that I've just been wanting to chat about.
Would you say that Asher is a Boythrob?
Before or after he flew off into space?
Okay, all of you who were asking us to make predictions, what the fuck? You're all a bunch of snakes who knew that this was gonna happen. You made us look like fools.
I know, me being like, I can't wait to see the girls come back. I can't wait to see Nala. It's like not even in the episode.
You played us. You played us for fools. You knew we would never guess.
I wish we had done like could we figure out like if there's a celebrity cameo, perhaps who could it have been? Because I don't think Rachel Ray was even on my radar.
No, it would have been an HGTV person. But if we want to introduce the Food Network, I love it. Do we think Whitney's son is going to become a Food Network star?
Ooh,
that'd be a happy ending.
That could be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a happy ending for Whitney, but I guess we can discuss at the end.
Oh, ages ago, I really thought that I should write a pitch to Food Network where Kelly and I were essentially Kenny versus Spenny, but with like different food things. And I was like, this is a genius idea. We should do this. We both love to cook. And I never did it, but I was like, for a while, I was like, man, I should really do that. This is amazing.
You should do it. I feel like we could also just do it on our own.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a thing that they would be interested in anymore. I don't know if they would have been interested before.
Boythrob got to 1 million followers in like a month and a couple days. Like,
yeah, we have not.
Maybe we make a friend who's trying to get a visa too.
And Nathan Fielder needed a visa in America as well. And so he did a bunch of silly little shows to do that. So my understanding is a good bit gets you to America, which I don't know if that's my goal, but like I would visit mainly to see the Alligator Lounge. I really want to go.
I mean, you can just like go. Like,
yeah, it's different. I want to be invited.
I'm like, are you hiding something from me that you've done that makes you not able to go anymore?
I just want someone to ask me to go.
Oh, okay.
No one's asking.
Well, perhaps we'll get invited on Rachel Ray's show.
That would be incredible.
Vincent Pastore from The Sopranos.
Yeah. So we have clearly fast forwarded quite a bit. Whitney is pregnant, quite pregnant. So we know at least probably 9 months have gone by, if not more, from them trying and all sorts of stuff. The show was out. It was not on TV, but it was on an app. So it's maybe not getting the success that they were hoping for, but it's very exciting to be on Rachel Ray. Rachel Ray could not give a fuck about them and their show. She is all in on these meatballs, though.
I mean, fair. Like, the meatballs do look good. I want to say, I know that the cookbook they're cooking for is the Wise Guys cookbook. I don't know what was going on when I was watching it, but I heard the Wife Guy cookbook, and I thought that's how we were getting the tie-in with Asher. And I was like, oh my god, we're finally going to talk about Ned Fulmer. This is our time to discuss Try Guys.
Kelly and I keep saying we're going to talk about Ned on this show. And then we're like, oh no, too much time has passed, blah, blah, blah. He's horrific. We don't like you. You're not a wife guy. Get out of here. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and like, this was not the Wife Guy cookbook. It was the Wise Guys cookbook, unfortunately. But yeah, the meatballs do look good. Rachel is not into the passive house idea. She says she needs AC.
Fair.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to live in a thermos.
She hates the fact that she'd have to get rid of her basement. She has a piano down there. She plays pool down there. That's where her gym is. And of anyone, I would assume that if Rachel Ray wanted to move her items, like, I'm sure her house is like enormous.
Yeah.
But she really is not excited about this idea. And she's like, well, what are any of us even supposed to do? Like, what? We can't all just go make our house passive. We can't just buy a passive house, which fair. I couldn't do that. But
I think she could.
She definitely could.
But yes.
She does not want to. She will not be doing it. But she was asking for like tips and tricks. And Whitney had said, we have a little timer on our shower for 5 minutes. And I was like, man, there's a lot of things I would do for the environment. Taking a shower less than 5 minutes is not one of them. I was like, I gotta like chill out, get all warm, hang out, think deeply about my thoughts, be a little sad, shampoo, get out of there.
Yeah. I feel like I'm always like I always like come up with stuff in the shower. This is like the regular cliche of like, you have a shower idea and then it's like gone by the time you get out. That's definitely me in the shower too. Yeah, I feel like her reaction to this whole thing was very odd. Like, it almost felt like, I'm like, what did Whitney do to you that you hate her so much? Is it just the vibe? Like, she really seemed to just not like Whitney and Asher at all. I don't know if it's just meant to be like, well, she's rich, so she like doesn't care about the environment, or like what the actual meaning behind this whole thing was, but it was very awkward.
The tone was crazy. Like, the juxtaposition of her being like overly flirty and into the meatballs and like all over this guy versus Whitney and Asher, who she's blatantly ignoring, passing off, trying to change the subject, not asking follow-up questions. It was so cringy, which is not surprising. But the tone was just like very tense and you're just dying for them. And it is funny because these are characters that a lot of us dislike and, you know, have done a lot of wrong by society. But this is a moment where like I'm really feeling for them. I'm like, oh, like look at them, ask them a question, like say something good about passive houses, like please help them out a little bit. Like I really wanted her to give them more attention and I don't know why.
Yeah, she didn't even say anything vaguely positive about their show.
No.
She just kind of ignored them. And then they sat on that screen for so long while she's cooking the meatballs with Vincent.
Yeah, they're just trying to smile and be still. And then we are able to end the segment and then we flash into where Whitney and Asher are and they are just stuck, smiling, looking straight ahead, trying to not speak until they know for sure that the camera is off. And the camera woman there, you know, they're trying to confirm like, oh, could you see the baby bump? Like we were trying to get her to talk about it. And she's like, did Rachel Ray even watch the show? Like she's like, oh, Rachel's very busy. I'm sure that she watched it or I'm sure that she has all the information she needs. Like don't worry about it. But it was very tense. The other thing I was wondering is everyone in the audience was wearing face masks and the camera woman was wearing face masks. Like, are they saying that this was during COVID? Because people walking around town aren't wearing face masks.
Yeah, it is kind of random. I'm like, when? Because this came out in, what, 2023, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, when did
it's
they
in America.
film the show? Yeah, true. But I mean, on movie sets and stuff and like shows, they were being a bit more cautious.
I know what they were doing in Canada for sure. Like they were testing people every day. Like you did have to wear masks and everything. But it just felt very strange to me that walking around town, everyone that they interacted with, it just, and maybe there were some masks in other episodes, but this one in particular, like so many people were wearing masks. I was wondering what was happening with the filming.
Yeah, I just looked it up. They filmed in 2022. So it does feel like, yeah, kind of random that they had everyone in masks. Like maybe they meant this to be taking place during COVID. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Maybe if someone knows more about Rachel Ray, like was the Rachel Ray show just like very cautious maybe?
You think this was filmed during a real Rachel Ray bit?
No, but maybe they were like, we need to be really accurate to the source material.
Rachel can't be seen fucking around like this.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they were like, we don't know what period we're gonna set this in yet.
Yeah, and then Kelly, for example, if you've seen the Jonas Brothers' new Christmas movie, she was in the audience during one of their performances. So, like, for them, they did a normal concert and then kind of handed out Christmas hats and stuff and said, okay, surprise, we're filming this section for a movie, which I assume that they didn't do on Rachel Ray. But hypothetically, we're saying that they could have had a normal Rachel Ray show and then been like, hey, we're going to film this bit. You guys just act like an audience. But I doubt that. I feel like it was probably filmed regularly.
With extras and stuff. Yeah, and I'm also like, I wonder why they picked this Vincent Pastore from The Sopranos to be the guy.
I did see some people saying that it was like a Sopranos, like, I forget how many years, but it was an anniversary. So they were wondering if that was intentional or not. Because I looked up the cookbook to see if it was real. And people were saying, oh, I think that there was like a Sopranos anniversary that had come up around that time. So I'm not sure if Benny or Nathan is a big Sopranos fan or anything like that. And maybe in some other coverage of the show, when we actually dive into it, we'll learn why. Or I feel like that's probably not the part that most people are asking about. But if anyone happens to ask about it, we'll try to get those answers. I suspect that the full focus comes in a little bit later.
Yes. Okay. So after they're done the filming, we see Whitney and Asher having a discussion, and they're talking about kind of what's been going on while they're having dinner. And they're talking about how there's going to be a second season of the show, or they're hoping there will be, which can be including the baby that they're about to have. And then we get this conversation about Kara. So we learn that Kara is being profiled in the New York Times because she's decided that she's going to quit art and she's like leaving the art world. And Whitney's very bitter about this. She like makes all these jokes that she's like, oh, she only quit because she wasn't selling any art at her shows. And it's just like a very awkward discussion. Asher ends up basically defending her and saying like, you know, Kara's been through a lot. She was saying that the art had been re-traumatizing her. And then he also talks a bit about like him being Jewish and how when the producers came out, it wasn't like by Jewish people. And then it later was like reclaimed by them and people liked it and kind of decided it was okay to like laugh at themselves in this Broadway show or movie, I guess the producers is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we did get a little bit of closure on at least one character. I think there's a few that even though we don't see them, we get a little bit of closure on. So we learned that Kara is still working at the massage parlor. And that she is now, you know, getting a lot of recognition for leaving the art world. We have Whitney mention that she didn't sell any art, even though it was featured on their show. So we do learn that she did allow them to include the art after all. There was a little bit of hesitation. I think we didn't get that final document signed. We did get the document signed that she said she would be a cultural consultant on it and she would think about the art. So at least that was kind of resolved. And yeah, you know, Whitney's a little jealous, but I think Whitney's always a little bit jealous of people who are a little bit more successful than her.
Yeah, and like we learned that Kara's still working at the massage parlor, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Or the spa, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very weird conversation, but I am happy that we get some closure on Kara.
One person, check.
One single person.
She and Dougie, to our knowledge, did not end up together.
Oh my god, yeah, we never get an update on them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think it went anywhere. I think we were just like, anytime two characters were slightly near each other, we were like,
We were like, kiss.
Yeah, if their faces got a little close.
There just like wasn't enough people who like each other kissing in this show.
Compared to what you're used to.
Yeah. I'm not asking for much, okay? Yeah. Don't make me talk about the hockey show.
We will make you talk about the hockey show at the end. Kelly has some recommendations if that's the kind of thing you're looking for.
Okay, we learned Asher has gotten Whitney a push present.
Yes.
What's your view on push presents as a concept?
Abso-fucking-lutely. What are you talking about? It's insane. Every time you tell me something about pregnancy, I am more horrified than ever before. The number of things you have mentioned in casual passing, because we haven't gone into details, like the casual things in passing that you have mentioned, like you deserve every present that exists. And like the more gifts, the better. Like no one can ever make up for this. Your teeth have problems. Your
My
hair,
poor teeth.
Everything is a problem. Although you look fantastic. It doesn't look like you have any problems. But
thanks.
You've just mentioned that some things are problems.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like, you know, appreciate the birthing parent. Like they probably do deserve a little treat, at least a nice little gift.
Did you get a push present?
I did get a push present. It's pretty, I mean, it's not like it's a little embarrassing, but it was Taylor Swift Eras Tour tickets.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good present. Those are very difficult to get. Now,
it was a good present.
If Colin got to go too, I feel like a push present should be something like Colin should not have been able to participate.
That would have been wild. Imagine.
Yeah, like he has to sacrifice something, you know?
He was like, should I go? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's up to you. You could sell the ticket for a lot of money. Or we could, you know, sell it to one of our friends for the amount of money that you paid and be normal. but he was like, I feel like I'm gonna have too much FOMO. So he literally only came because he was like, I'm gonna have FOMO.
Mm-hmm. So it is a pretty
And
good
then-
gift, but I think the final decision is like, yes, someone deserves a push present. It looks insane. And I also think like that the partner shouldn't get to experience it as well. Like it's a gift just for them.
To be fair, like the present at that point was double the cost because he had to buy my ticket and his ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like if he had just not gone,
Mm-hmm.
then it would have been a cheaper gift.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
it
that.
is fun to do things together. But
Yes.
yes.
If
If your partner is having a baby, just do something nice. I really like the videos where they bring in like a massive sushi boat. Because that's just my dream for someone to walk into the room with a massive sushi boat normally.
You know, I thought I wanted that, and I was like so ready before I had the baby to be like, yes, we're gonna get so much sushi, and then like I was like, I could not. I don't want that. I didn't want it at all.
Devastating.
I thought I was gonna want like a beer and some sushi, and it was like no. I was like, I want just like the blandest food. Like I was like, I just want like a plate of French fries.
French fries are good. We could do like a French fry platter. It's over now, but
yeah,
there's
it's all
way to
done
do
now.
extravagant French fries.
Caviar, French fries, creme fraiche, all of that would have been wild. But anyways, Asher's gift to Whitney is that he's gifting Abshire Questa Lane.
Mm-hmm.
So he shows Whitney this model home to signify that, you know, he's going to gift Abshire the house. And Whitney is very concerned about this decision. She's like, can we afford it? All of these things. And Whitney's really like a little bit taken aback. But Asher's like, you know, you don't like material things. This felt like the right gift. And even if they go broke, like they have each other. So he doesn't need anything else.
I mean, it's a pretty big gift. It's a lot.
It's crazy.
Now, so we do not see Whitney's parents again. We do not have closure on their relationship or whatever happens with them. Now, for Whitney, and based on what we assume her parents' status is, this is a lot of money. I wouldn't think that it would make someone like them broke, you know, who has an HGTV show, who owns a multitude of properties, whose parents own multiple buildings. So for her to comment this, it makes me think that maybe the relationship isn't what it was the last time we saw them. Things were tense last time, so maybe that's escalated in the last 9 months. They're not mentioned again. So it is giving us a little bit more insight into their financial situation. If this $250,000, $300,000 property could really make or break them. Now, for the average person, absolutely that would be the case. But I think our understanding was that they were like multi-millionaires.
Yeah, I think they bought the property for, I can't quite remember.
I think it was like 60,000.
Yeah. So it wasn't quite the like 240 that Asher later quotes, but certainly like, I mean, I certainly don't want to lose $60,000. Like that would definitely financially ruin my family. That would be an issue.
Yeah.
So not to say that it's like a small amount of money, but yeah, interesting to bring up Winnie's parents. We also never find out what happens with Paul's 60th birthday party.
Honestly, really the worst thing we didn't get closure on.
Like, where did they do it? Did they throw the party? I need to know. Also an interesting reaction to this news is when they tell Abshire. He is very stressed out when they arrive at his home. And he's like, should my cousin be here? You know, they're a lawyer. He's super worried that they're going to be kicking them out. And that's when Asher presents him with the spare key, lets him know the house is going to be his with no strings attached. Of course, they gift him some clay nesting bowls made by the San Pedro Pueblo. And Abshire immediately is like, okay, who's going to pay the property taxes?
Not a bad question. I think it is correct to be suspicious. Like,
Yes.
why are you giving me this property? What are the strings attached? Is there some negative connotation that you're trying to disassociate yourself with? Like, how is this benefiting you in any way? Because it is crazy. So obviously the reaction they were looking for was wildly different. They like thought he might be crying for a second and got excited, but no, it was just some dust. Asher had set up his phone to try to film the interaction because he wanted it to be a really beautiful memory for Whitney, for them to remember when they gifted something so beautiful and amazing. Sorry, Lucy's like really wanting attention. Hey, if you're watching us on YouTube, my cat, as per usual, is like, oh, I hear your voice. I must be directly beside you. She's just a little old lady. I forget where I was, but they do not get the reaction that they are hoping for. It's a little awkward. It almost feels like maybe it's a gift you want to take back. Like if someone's not excited about it, he immediately asks when the paperwork will get filled out. He wants it done today. And it's just very awkward. There's also a person who's there.
Yes.
So creepy.
Yeah, the person in the background was very random. I don't know if like I have two kind of main thoughts about this whole thing. Like one, obviously, I think the whole point is that you can't like give someone something even if it is like such an extravagant gift. You know, gifting someone a house is objectively a crazy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you can't give someone something and expect a reaction. Like you need to just be giving it to them because you genuinely want to, not because you're like expecting they're gonna react in a certain way. So I feel like that's like one big point.
So it's really difficult because the gift he's giving her is his reaction. He's like, literally, my gift is like, you'll get to have the memory of his face when we give this to him. And he didn't get that gift. So Whitney was a pretty good sport about it, where it's like, oh, well, I'm sure he feels differently on the inside, and that's a good enough gift. But the whole thing was very awkward.
Yeah, and then my other thought on this is like, I'm wondering if they had that guy kind of like in the background of the house who Abshir is kind of like, get out of here, like, what the hell are you doing? To make like the audience be like a bit questioning of Abshir with like the way that he reacts and being so like nonchalant and like not really excited about it. But honestly, I'm not really sure how to take this scene.
Yeah, because I guess
might be the point.
Yeah, this could just be a friend of his, but it could also be very awkward for your friend to find out that you were just gifted a house by these random landlords. Like, you don't know why. He might not want to have to explain what's happening. It's just a bit of a mess. It's like when, on a much larger scale, when Whitney leaves a $350 tip for Cara, like, that's when you should have realized, like, oh, that's too much. Like, you can give someone too much and it can be very awkward for them. Like, you have to do it in a pretty specific way. But yeah, they did the best they could. And that is the last we hear of Abshir and the girls. Like, they aren't even there. We don't get to see them again. No more tiny curses that we're aware of. I'm
so sad.
Yeah, so that's kind of it. He gets a house. We don't know if, obviously, I'm like Nathan. Asher is dead. I'm sure if you're here, you've learned that. Crazy. We'll get into it. So I feel like Whitney's not going back to fill out that paperwork.
Yeah, it's a good point. Again, I feel like we're back to this thing of like the Abshir getting the chiropractor, where it's like you can't just like suspect that you know what these people want. Like maybe Abshir wants to move back to Minnesota,
but he can sell the house. Abshir wants a free house. Everybody wants a free house.
Abshir just wants the money. He just wants the money.
Yeah, for sure.
But then like all this title bullshit, like you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, is he even going to be able to get title insurance? Like, they claim that he might be able to, but, like, I don't know. Very sketchy.
Yeah, it's like on those HGTV shows where they would remodel a house that was like very small. They would completely flatten it, build a mansion, and then these individuals' property tax goes up like crazy. They can't afford it. They have to move. Like, I feel like that
Yeah.
happened in half of the episodes, like after the fact
Yeah.
it came out, where it's like no one could afford it anymore. Their hydro's up, their electrical's up. Like, they now live in this big mansion. Everything's just way more expensive. So there is certainly a lot of costs that are associated with the house, but it sounds like they had been willing to cover some of it. It's just, again, in the list of awkward scenes, like, we are not disappointed. You know, we knew it was coming. It was great. It was so crazy. And him filming it
so
him
cringe.
filming it was crazy. The tone of this show is always crazy.
I knew exactly when they went to the door that he was filming it, though. As soon as I saw his little iPhone sticking out of his pocket, I was like, oh, Asher's filming this shit.
Yeah.
Brutal. Yeah, so that's it for Abshir. Hope his neck feels better. But yeah, they're getting later. The next scene that we see is that Whitney and Asher are getting a climate control panel installed for their baby's room, but they're like, Whitney's very aggressive that like, we need to hide the panel so that people don't think that passive houses are bad for babies and that they're too hot. She's like very concerned about the aesthetics and making sure that, you know, they can keep up the appearance of the house, especially if they're going to use it as like a model or show home. Which I kind of see where she's coming from, but I don't know. Like, girl, you should probably believe in your own product a bit more.
Yeah, I'm torn. Like, it makes me question, like, are passive houses fine? I think they are. But yeah, they're trying to be extra careful. It's for their baby. They want to make sure that he's not overheated or too cold. So they want a proper AC unit in there to make sure that they can mitigate the heat. Freckle, of course, pokes a bit of fun at them, but then obliges. Now, Freckle brings them a baby gift that's a dream catcher that says made in China on it that Whitney rejects. She's like,
so rude.
So funny. She's like, oh, we're actually not accepting gifts until after the baby is born. And it seems as if it's like a surprise to her that Freckle knows the gender. I guess maybe it's something that they were keeping a secret. So he doesn't know how he heard that. He doesn't remember, but for some reason he knew.
I feel like this is normal, though. People are always like randomly saying like the gender of a baby. Like, I feel like she was very weirded out by it, but like when I was pregnant, I feel like people were always like assuming the gender of my unborn baby.
Like, they would get you gifts?
No, like they would say like,
oh,
him
it's a girl,
or like her. Yeah, and you'd be like, oh, did I ever say? But but alas, okay, I do feel like this was a funny scene coming back off the Abshir one, because Whitney like does the same thing that Abshir does.
Yeah,
like,
immediately.
She doesn't just accept the gift and be like, wow, thank you so much. She's like, oh, we're not accepting gifts because it's not, you know, a Pueblo-made dream catcher because it's made in China.
Yeah, so Freckle's like, oh, okay, I'll bring it back after he's born. And then there's this other like worker that I guess Freckle had just hired, because they had tried to confirm with Freckle, like, oh, it's something we're keeping a secret, like, please don't tell people. He's like, oh, for sure, no problem. They know Freckle, they love Freckle. This random man comes by and is like, I'm gonna tell everyone. And it's like, who are you?
Who are you?
Just
like,
so weird and aggressive. And I feel like I would be someone who would say something like that and think like, oh, this is very funny.
Yeah.
But then you don't know them well enough. And it's like, they hated that. They thought it was the worst. As soon as he was out of the room for more than 5 seconds, Asher was like, you need to fire that man. That was crazy. Because it does come across as a little bit threatening. Like, he's going to reveal, especially because they're on TV or on an app. Like, they have a show. Like, for a celebrity, maybe being able to reveal something like that could, if they were probably larger celebrities, but like could earn you money or different things. So it comes across as very threatening. and not just like a silly joke.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there was just recently the Cardi B trial. Do you remember this?
No, not I don't know anything about
Where
it.
basically, like, this is fully just what I remember, so I could be totally wrong.
You remember it
I believe
flawlessly. You've been following it
I
for
believe
years.
I believe she was on trial for like beating up a security guard in the hospital. And she was like in the hospital and like was pregnant, but nobody knew she was pregnant. And apparently the security guard like was taking photos of her.
Oh my
And she
gosh.
was like, "You're gonna sell those to like TMZ or whatever." And so
Mhm.
she kind of like beat up the security guard at the hospital. Which, sorry, it's not funny. Don't beat people up. But
But
that, I
also, if
think
you're a
that's where this
hired
trial stemmed
security
from.
guard, the person you're guarding shouldn't be able to beat you up, probably.
Well, and like let her have her privacy. Like she's in a medical setting.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy. The hospital should be
so
doing more about that. I don't know who should be doing something about it. Somebody should be doing something about it. And it shouldn't have to be her who's clearly going through something at the moment. Somebody else should be
yeah.
doing something.
Somebody do something.
Somebody somewhere.
Somebody do something.
Mhm.
Yeah. I do also want to say, like, is a big concern, like babies do overheat very easily. That's like one of the major things that they like really warn you about is like make sure your baby's not too hot. Cause like they're like, if a baby's too hot, they'll just like they could just pass away in their sleep.
Oh
Basically, if a
my
baby's too
God.
cold, they'll cry. So it's like you'd rather your baby be too cold and just like crying than like overheat and pass away. So,
Oh my
you
God.
know, Whitney's like worries are found, like they make sense,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, just like be upfront then that maybe the passive house isn't good for people who are going to have a newborn.
I feel like there's so many things that can go wrong. How do so many babies live?
This is why like everyone has postpartum anxiety.
Yeah.
I know I recently learned like one of our friends does not have this like crazy anxiety, and I was like, sorry, you just like you could just like put the baby down and like you were like, it's fine, he's going to sleep. You weren't like on the monitor every 5 minutes being like, did he suffocate, and like zooming in to make sure he was still breathing. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. You just live like that?
Mm.
Anyway, enough about my mental health.
My mom would always like stick her fingers under my nose to check if I was breathing. And I'd be like, go away.
Okay, we got to talk about Asher saying
Hate
that he
it.
has a little bit of him inside of Whitney.
Honestly, this is the moment. Like, okay, last episode we had this huge freak out. We had Whitney kind of revealing to Asher that she pretty much doesn't love him anymore. They have this enormous fight. Asher like storms in, decides that he is going to fight for this relationship, and we don't know what happened since then. I will say that I had assumed that they would stay together. So I made one correct prediction. I was like, oh no, she's back in. And then for them to come all this way, this is the moment when I'm like, oh, she's out again. She realized she fucked up. Because Asher is like shining this light on her stomach, singing. That sounds terrible in itself. Now, I don't even know what it was word for word, but he's like, oh, there's a little me inside of you. And the look on her face is just, she's just so disappointed. She's just so sad for herself. And I'm like, oh, it's gone. That last like little heartbeat she has for Asher has just left the building. Like, she is done with this man. Like, she is not happy. And it was very sad, but also very justified. That's a crazy thing to say to a person. That's so gross.
Yeah, it was like contempt is what I would call the look that she gives him.
Mm-hmm.
Colin has a theory that after he said this to her and then they went to sleep, she cursed him.
Yeah.
And that's why he wakes up on the ceiling the next day.
Yeah, because the last episode, I don't remember what it is word for word. I wish maybe I did write it down. But they say something along the lines of, I think he says like, when you want Like, he's like, I'm not leaving because I can tell you still want me around. And then they say something like, when I know you don't want me anymore, like, I'm going to go. Like, I'm going to be able to tell. So I don't know if that translates over, but it does seem like she cursed him, right?
Something happened
Something
here.
happened
Like,
where now he knows something in the universe. It's like, now is the moment that she doesn't want him around anymore. And
yeah.
something sinister happens overnight. And then the big reveal that I think everybody learned before us, because the show came out 3 years ago, which I will say, for us to get this far and not have the ending spoiled is so
Crazy.
shocking. I feel like
Yeah.
I can't get through any other shows without getting spoiled on something. To not get spoiled at all is pretty fantastic. I don't know what it says about like people talking about the show online. Maybe it's a little bit more minimal, but I did not see this coming at all. So Whitney wakes up. I thought that this was a fantastic scene.
Yeah.
I was so confused as well of like, how did we get here? She looks up at the ceiling and Asher is on the ceiling looking while he's asleep. And she's like kind of waking up, figuring out what's happening. But we see that he has levitated and flipped and is asleep against the roof or the ceiling in their bedroom. So they slowly wake up and she's looking down on him. And they have decided that it must be the air pressure in the house. And Whitney has to run around opening doors and depressurizing the house to get him to fall down. Do you remember what was going through your mind at this moment?
Like, I feel like this is the first time in this show, or one of the only times, where I was like, this is like actually purely comedy.
Yes.
Like, there's like the physical comedy of Emma Stone like crawling through, and like with the Dyson, and they're trying to get her phone and all of these things happening.
Oh, I did write down that I think Nathan might hate Dyson. Because he's like, it won't even suction.
I know. I'm like, rude. I love my Dyson. Nathan,
like,
get out of here.
This Dyson is not very powerful.
Yeah, I'm like, so rude. Okay, but I was thinking, like, they seem more calm and they seem so convinced that there's like an air pocket, which I guess your brain would just
think?
I don't know, but it's like, I guess, yeah, your brain just tries to figure out what could be happening. Like, your brain's probably trying to like come up with a logical response. But I feel like she's not that stressed. Like, how was your immediate reaction? Not like, I need to call 911.
Yeah, 100%. She should have been calling 911 immediately. Now, I also think for an average person, if you were to wake up and your partner is on the ceiling, you're freaking out. You're losing your mind. You're trying to get them down. When you realize that they're not coming down, you're calling for help.
Yes.
But Asher has been freaking out over curses, has been hyperfixating on chicken, has been making Nala hold nails in her hand, is convinced she's magical. The fact that his mind, after all of that, went to, oh, it's an air current in the house. I feel like that's something that, frankly, I would never think of. But maybe is something that someone would think of. But because of all of his worries about curses and focusing on them, I'm shocked his conclusion wasn't immediately, I've been cursed.
Yeah. Yeah, he just like, he's also very calm. And like, how would you not be like, oh, I keep moving everywhere and I don't fall down. Like, this can't be an air pocket.
But what on earth? It's just so impossible. Like, your thoughts are not right. Like, you would have no idea. I think it's so obvious because Whitney's not getting sucked up, right? Oh man, the part where Whitney crawls in and to grab the phone and it's like, I feel the air on my back. I feel it. I was laughing so hard. It was great.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
The whole scene, I think it's my favorite scene of the whole show, other than the Gatorade.
Yeah.
The Gatorade holds like a special little place in my heart because I thought it was so funny. But I absolutely love this. Like the whole room, and obviously it was planned, right? But I think it's pretty clear that they filmed some of the scenes. Like they made the room the correct side up for Nathan as well. So there's some scenes where you can see both of them where Nathan's on wires. And then there's others where it's being filmed in a room where the ceiling is actually the floor. And so they've done it in such a clever way where the roof has these divots in it and his clothes are tucked in such a way that they're not really falling forward, and it looks like maybe they're tucked into his pants. So it looks a little bit less like, you know, he's right side up. I think some of my favorite parts were the way he scrambles around the room, the way he's using all of the furniture in the space. They have these shelves in the walls that he's climbing.
Yeah.
The way
he keeps getting stuck in the skylight.
Yeah. He'll like stretch out and like jump. So Whitney tries to pull him down and they're holding each other at one point and they're just suspended in midair. I just loved it. I feel like Nathan is actually an incredible physical actor. I know that we've talked a lot about, you know, is he a good actor? And I think the answer is yes, but it's a really tall order to be acting beside someone like Emma Stone. So, you know, that's such a high bar. But like doing these stunts, flipping around, having to act like you have no, like gravity is incorrect for you. Like, I don't think that would be an easy thing to do. And I feel like he did such an amazing job of it. Like, I loved watching him scramble around the room in this scene. I thought it was so fun and funny. And there's been not too many times that like I've actually laughed out loud and like found a lot of humor in the show, but I loved this part.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, this whole episode is very funny until, like, the very end, which, like, is just sad. But I feel like up until that part, like, it's, like, pure comedy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, like, much funnier than the rest of the series.
Definitely. I think the Gatorade one was, like, really good, too.
But yeah, so Whitney's able to get her phone. I guess we should mention as well, Whitney's going into labor while this is all going on.
Yeah, that's like a really big part of what's happening. She's like actively has contractions and is like, they keep deciding. So at first she tries to help Nathan or Asher down. And then at some point they think that, oh, Whitney could get sucked up into this hypothetical wind tunnel or air pressure suction tube thing that they've invented. So Nathan / Asher wants her out of the house. So she crawls away, realizes she doesn't have the phone, comes back because she needs to call the firefighters. She needs to call the police. You need to call someone because call anyone. Because what the heck is happening? Comes back in. There's a whole fun scene of her trying to get her phone. We get the Dyson out because Nathan, I keep saying Nathan today. I've been pretty good about the Asher thing. Asher tries to get the phone back. She gets it. And then on her way out, she's like trying to hold on to things around her and is crawling and is doing such a funny job of like scrambling around this house, worried. It is so funny. She gets outside and calls Moses, who we are introduced to. Who is not the doctor. He's the midwife.
No, he's her doula.
He's her doula, that's it. Which Asher wanted her to call the doctor first, but here we are. She prefers Moses.
Yeah. Odd choice.
I would be calling 911. I'd be like, I'm in labor, get an ambulance, no?
Well, so the thing is, like, when you're in labor, it depends. We don't exactly know how far along she is either.
I would like to remind you that her husband is trapped on the ceiling.
Like, she needs to be calling 911 because her husband is trapped on the ceiling. And, like, the I'm in labor thing, like, she's going to be okay.
No,
she's going to be okay for a minute.
So the thing is, like, problems.
They, like, tell you not to go to the hospital for, like, there's all these apps you can download where you like time your contractions and then it'll tell you when you should go to the hospital because you actually are in like labor. You can be in labor for a really long time. Like some people are in labor for like 48 hours. So they like actively don't want you going to the hospital too early because you're just taking up space basically.
So rough.
Again, this is in Canada. Like, I don't know. It could be different other places.
Yeah.
These fancy, like, private American hospitals, I don't know. But that was when I was pregnant and having a baby. They were like, here's all the times you would call 911. And it's like, if, like, you, like, there's a couple things. Like, if your water breaks, you generally, like, immediately go to the hospital. But if it's just contractions and they, like, are not, like, there's not other stuff happening, your water doesn't break, you can generally, like, wait a while before you go in. Because, like, for me, I went to the hospital and I was like, I'm in labor, and they were like, you're not in labor enough, so go home and come back. They were like, go home and come back in 7 hours.
Oh my God.
And I was like, slay, this is the most pain I've ever been in my life, but okay. And then
were they like, here's a Tylenol?
No, they gave me nothing. They said, go home. I said, okay. So they were like, go home, try and get some rest. I was like, all right. I went home. And then it turned out when I was in the hospital and they, like, checked my cervix, it, like, knocked something loose. And then I was, like, really in labor, but I was already at home at this point. So then I just waited at home for 7 hours. And I sat in the bathtub for a long time and cried.
Fair.
And then we went back to the hospital and they were like, yay, you're 4 centimeters.
Is that a cheering time?
I mean, like, it was good because, like, they were like, okay, we're, like, admitting you immediately. And the good thing, I will say, is when we came back 7 hours later, the reason they told us to come back is they were like, we have a bunch of people who have C-sections right now, and they're all going to get discharged. So if you come back in 7 hours, like, there's not going to be anyone here. So, like, you will be like, we'll be like ready to go. So that's why I was like, okay, we'll come back. But then when I came back, I was like, I'm dying. Please help me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is awful. Why did no one tell me?
Yeah, I think everyone says it's awful.
Yeah, but, like, when it's different hearing it and then experiencing it was somehow
like,
worse than I had imagined. Worse. It was, like, a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. I was like, I've, like, done a lot of things. I think I'll be okay. And it was like, no, I was, like, a little baby and I was like, no, I literally am going to die. Except also, like, I was like, I don't want them to put me in a wheelchair because, like, I can walk. I've got legs. And then, like, Colin was like, just get a wheelchair. I was like, no, I'm going to walk. And then it took us, like, 15 minutes to walk because I, like, had to keep stopping.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like your legs in particular are compromised.
Yeah.
Things are going out.
But I did get an epidural immediately, so that was great.
Yeah, I found when Whitney was giving birth this episode, I found that to be a little graphic for me personally.
Which part?
Like the whole thing. They, like,
did
cut
you
her
never
open and, like, drag. No, I didn't watch any birthing videos.
You never had to watch birthing videos in high school? Oh my God.
I think I skipped that class.
I don't think I had a choice.
I've never seen it.
Wait, were you in a Catholic? You weren't in a Catholic high school, were you?
Public, baby.
Maybe that's why I had to watch them. Maybe they were like, if you have sex, this is going to be you. But, like, I feel like it was in biology class, so I don't think that was the message.
Somehow I missed it. And I didn't go out of my way to see it again. I was like, I'm just going to...
We watched both. Like, we watched, like, a vaginal birth and a C-section.
That sounds terrible.
Crazy. A crazy
terrible.
Day.
Yeah, so when they were, like, slicing her open and, like, he just, like, shoves his hand and, like, grabs the baby out by the legs, I'm like, whew, you're doing that a little fast.
Yeah, they didn't even show him bursting the amniotic sac.
Yeah. Sounds fun. Where were we? She's crawling around. She calls Moses. Oh, yeah. Let's get back to Moses.
Yes.
This
so
man
we meet
is
Moses,
too
the doula.
Calm. And maybe that's, like, his training, but he is not concerned enough for Asher specifically. So Asher, in, like, a very funny scene, manages to climb his way along the ceiling like some weird spider monkey. And Whitney is calling for Moses, sitting, like, right outside their front door. So they have this big overhang. and Asher like scuttles out and then gets trapped there, which I think if you're getting sucked into the abyss up, stay in the house.
Yeah.
But the problem is he thinks the house is the problem. So
yeah, he thinks it's the bubble in the house.
Yeah. While
But then
Whitney sits there in normal
but
gravity.
wouldn't you like come out to the like you'd come out the door and be like, "Oh, I'm outside now."
And also Whitney
Like,
is
it's obviously
normal.
not the house.
It's just a very scary place to be. So she goes and sits, is waiting for Moses. Asher's like chilling, just like he's stuck on the ceiling of the overhang of the house at the front. Moses arrives, acts way too calm, and he goes and tries to pull Asher down. He's like, we're going to take a deep breath. I'm going to rip you out of whatever suction thing we have going on. And I don't know if I would say we need a backup plan. Because why would you assume you're getting sucked up into space? I feel like I would also fumble this hard, but it really feels like everybody here fumbled this super hard.
Yeah, I think the problem is like, again, Moses is a doula, so his job is to like be Whitney's support person.
But if you
know?
see someone directly beside your support person having an absolute crisis that's like out of this world, like you call 911. You do something for them too. And also, it's like Whitney's husband. It is also, you also need to be there for him because he needs to be there for the baby.
Yeah, I mean, he tries something.
Okay, but this part is more crazy. So he grabs his hands, pulls Asher away from the house, out from the cover of the overhang, and Asher goes straight vertical. He's clearly being sucked up into the sky. Something crazy is happening. Moses is trying to hold him down, trying so hard to hold him down, but he lets go, and Asher luckily was able to get dragged near this tree. Smacks into the tree, and I guess, thank you, Stuart, this is what's happening with the tree. That's crazy.
We never would have predicted.
We never would have guessed. He smacks into this giant tree branch and just starts holding on to it for dear life. And holding on to something while you're getting pulled away uses a lot of strength. And so the fact that Moses is like, okay, we'll call for help, see ya, gotta take Whitney to the hospital now, and like doesn't try to find a ladder, doesn't try to tie a rope around him so he doesn't have to just use his pure strength to hold himself. Like something extraterrestrial, spooky ooky, curse, witchy, something is happening. And we don't know what. And you just abandoning this man is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
911 to come get Whitney. They called Dougie, but you can't leave him like this.
Yeah, it's very weird that they leave him. I mean, they have called the fire department.
But you don't know when they're going to show up. And also explaining, like a third party needs to explain.
Yeah. Because I think the problem is no one explained the gravity. No one explained the gravity of the situation to Dougie or to anyone else. Like they were like, oh, he got sucked up into a tree. But I'm like, they didn't explain, like Moses wasn't like, no, I was trying to pull him and he was like being pulled upwards. Like
no one
it's not properly explained to anyone.
And if it comes from Asher, it sounds like he's having a mental breakdown. No one would ever believe him. You have to be there and be like, no, I experienced this. You need to go find a rope and you need to drag him down and get him back inside that house. Like Whitney, it's not dire. It's a problem. There's a lot of problems happening. But she can wait for an ambulance while you deal with like this insane, like you need to stay. I think you have to stay.
Okay, yeah, we need to talk about the fact that this is all going on and Whitney gets so upset that she is not going to be able to go to the better hospital. She's like, this is all happening with Asher and Whitney's on the phone with, I think, Dr. Brown. And he's like, oh, it sounds like things are going quickly. Like we have to go to like this hospital. And she's like, no, I want to go to Santa Fe. I don't want to go to Espanola. It's like, Whitney, you have bigger problems than like which hospital
Look,
you're going to.
You can be upset about a lot of things at once. But I do think it's funny when you're like preaching Espanola, like this is like the best town. This is where you want everyone to buy. But like, oh, I can't have my kid here. Like I would never have my kid in this town. Like that's a terrible hospital. It's just like funny.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, people are really picky about what hospital they have their kids at, so I do get it.
Yeah, and if you like have a plan and you picture things going a certain way, and then you woke up this morning and you're in labor and your husband's on the ceiling, like you can freak out as much as you want. Quite frankly, I freaked out for a lot less.
We know she has a plan. Whitney's definitely got a plan. Okay, Asher's also so adamant that he will be at the birth. This is when we should have known that he was never coming down.
I don't know what I thought would happen. At no point did I think he would rocket off into space and die until it was happening.
I kind of thought he would get hit by a plane. And I thought it was like, oh, we're back at the rehearsal, baby.
Well, this came out first. We did it backwards.
Yes.
But that would be funny. He gets saved by a pilot and gets so inspired to become one himself.
Yeah.
That's like the ending I'm pretending happened.
I didn't think like he would be saved. I thought he was a goner for sure.
From what moment did you think he was a goner? I didn't think he was dying until he was dying.
When he got up into that tree, I was like, I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. When he was still in the house, I was like, this is weird, but like
I think
maybe we're going to learn like a lesson and then he'll come down. But like once he got into the tree, I was like, and then they're like, we're calling Dougie. I was like, there's no way.
And again, maybe this is like my need to always want things to loop back around and be tied in a nice bow. Like I really love callbacks and shows that like I love comedy sets where like they make references. I love shows that loop back. I love like little Easter eggs. And so like if you had paused it, and I only thought of this right now, if you had paused it and been like, what's happening next? I would expect Nala to show up. I would expect like Abshir to bring her over to like maybe he told the kids about the house. They want to bring them a thank you. They get a different reaction this time. They see what's happening. And Nala, our tiny curse, like they resolve something. Maybe it's like, oh, you gave the house and now, you know, it makes up for that $100 you didn't give me. You can like now be lowered onto the ground to go see your son's birth. Like I would not have expected, oh, Asher just rockets off into space and dies and we never see any of the other characters that were in this show again. Like, so things that really bothered me. There's a lot of them. These firefighters. Okay, Dougie arrives. We gotta backtrack.
Okay,
Dougie arrives.
We have to talk about what Dougie says on the phone. Because Moses says to him, something weird happened to Asher. He flew up into a tree. He's holding on there. Dougie's response is, oh my God, all right. I know exactly what to do. Which is a crazy response.
Well, we learned that Dougie's dad ran away when he was born. So I guess he's like, expects men to run away from their problems. And he's like, no, I'm going to talk him down. I'm going to remind him how wonderful Whitney is and that he loves her and he wants to be there for her. So he thinks he's literally hiding in a tree, which I can't think of anything more embarrassing for a human being to do. Like your partner's giving birth and you literally go hide up a tree. Like how little do you think of your friend that is their response to a situation?
It's also like embarrassing to have Dougie be the one who's like lecturing you about being a good partner. Like Dougie famously was cursed and maybe killed his wife.
Yes. Is there a more embarrassing thing to do when your partner is going into labor than hiding in a tree? Outside your house. Immediately outside your front door. You're like, you go to the hospital. I'm going to go hide in this tree and hug it for a while.
It's pretty bad. It's so
if he'd like funny.
If he'd like gone to the casino, that'd be pretty bad.
That would be something you would expect more, though. Like, I bet there's people out there who have done that.
Definitely.
Where they're like, oh, I have time to kill. Kelly said 7 hours. I'm going to go win the family some money. It's a lucky day. My child's coming into this world. I bet quite a few people in the world have done that. Going up into a tree immediately outside of your house and holding onto a branch is crazy. And like something,
Yeah.
I wonder if a single person on this earth has done that. I bet you know.
Probably not that specific scenario.
That
I do agree. Like,
scenario, I'm interested in learning if a single human being has ever done that, and I want to talk to you.
I do agree. Like, Dougie thinking so little of Asher is awful. Like, they've known each other for quite a long time.
But Dougie hates Asher.
But like, he's done the interviews with Asher. He's heard Asher talk about his wife. Like, he knows Asher loves Whitney. So I feel like he's just projecting his own insecurities from like maybe his daddy issues, or maybe how he would react if he were having a baby with his partner. Like, he just is so unable to see that Asher is, for all intents and purposes, like a pretty good partner. 10 toes down for his girl, like we've been saying.
Well, you've been saying. That's a crazy phrase. But, like, Dougie approaches this situation very unserious. Because Moses didn't explain it. Nobody is explaining this correctly. So yeah, you think your friend is having a bit of a meltdown, hanging out in a tree. You're like, man, you love your wife. Like, we're going to get through this. He's like, I got this. No worries. He's like, in fact, it's so unserious. It's pretty funny. We got to film this for the show. We're all going to laugh about this later because this is a crazy thing you're doing. So your friend is either having a mental breakdown and you're like, I'm going to film this. Or I guess there's at no point he assumed that he was actually getting sucked upward. And I also have an issue with the firefighters, of course, and of Dougie, because there's multiple times when Nathan like lets his legs go and holds on to be like, see? And nobody even acknowledges that you can't possibly bend your body in that way. And like maybe you could put an arm on a leg and try to pull it down, like give it a little test.
Yeah.
But Dougie is very focused on his dramatic TV show, even though they've decided to not make it dramatic at all. And he's like very focused on getting the shot. So do you want to get into the firefighters? Other than him like randomly explaining his whole life story to the one random firefighter standing beside him.
Yeah, well, I just also want to mention, this is when we find out that Whitney is going to need a C-section because the baby is breech. And there was a scene earlier where Whitney was like, the baby will flip, it'll be fine. And she's really unhappy that she's going to have to go in to do the C-section by herself.
Fair, right? Don't you want like a buddy, a friend? She wanted her doctor and she wanted her doula. And her doctor is like, oh no, someone else is going to take care of you. So I think was she at the correct hospital if her doctor's there?
No, so her doctor probably went and met her at Espanola.
So she's sorry.
Yeah, she's at the wrong hospital and her doctor can't come in for the C-section.
And the doula's not coming and she doesn't know what's happening with Asher. It's like a bad day. It seems like if she cursed Asher, she really like cursed herself.
Also, I was going to say at this point, like, this is when I would have expected we'd hear about her parents.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, something has happened between the money and between them not being called or being told or anything like that. Like, something has broken up there. And so maybe they don't even need to show the scene. Like, it's clear that there's been an issue. But they're not there. They're not showing up. And we don't know if I don't think she's ever mentioned she has siblings. I think she's an only child. So it's just her alone at the hospital, which is hard, and her doula, who she cares about the most of the people in that room, it seems, is also not invited. But he's like, I'm there with you, just close your eyes, like, I'm with you. So
he's like, you got it, mama.
Yeah, I kind of liked it when he kept calling her mama. I thought that was kind of cute.
I'm gonna be so real, it gets so old.
Oh, does everyone say that to you?
Yeah, like when you're pregnant, when you first have a baby, everyone's like, you go, mama. And it's like,
Have I ever said that to you? I don't think so.
No, I don't think you have.
I'm going to say it
It doesn't-
now. You go,
It's
mama.
not as it doesn't
It's
bother me
fun.
as much now, but
It's kind of fun.
it did for a while.
I'm like, yes, mama.
And like it is like mostly funny. My running friends say it a lot.
Mm.
Like they'll be like on my Strava, they'll be like, you go, mama. And I'm like, oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's cute and charming. But at the hospital it is a little annoying.
Yeah. I don't know. Saying mother would be weird.
Yes, mother.
Yes, mother.
No, but now mother's like good. Like
yeah,
that'd be
the
like
way I said it
that's
would
in,
be
yeah.
weird, but then the way you said it was kind of nice.
yeah, like mother.
Yeah. Mom. Is mom the worst one?
I think mom is like out of vogue now.
Mommy. Yes, mommy.
I don't love mommy, but
If a random nurse came by you at the hospital and said yes and then a form of mom, which one is the worst? Power rank them.
probably like ma. Like that'd be pretty bad.
Howdy, ma.
Howdy, ma.
You got this. Okay, the firefighters.
Okay, yeah. Quick aside, but I obviously refer to my husband as Colin, and I forgot that I shouldn't do that as much because we have a child, and you know it's weird if a 2-year-old starts saying Colin to their dad. But he did that the other day, and I was like, oh my god, I have to go back to only saying daddy, and I hate it.
Honestly, Colin and I had a really funny day where, and I don't know if I've talked about this before on the show, but I was like holding Eddie and he was like talking about Colin and I was like referring to Colin. And I think I had a moment where I was like, oh, like daddy's in the next room. And Colin was like, you don't have to do that. I'm like, thanks. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing. And also Eddie is an absolute genius with remembering names and faces. Like
he's really good.
He'll like look at me and be like, "Oh, Megan," and I'm like, he'll look at different people, different friends of ours that he hasn't seen, and I'm sure you kind of like remind him a bit, but like he doesn't mess up. He never calls you the wrong name. It's crazy. He's not even 2. He's remembering so many names.
He asked to see photos of people. He also said, I love cute. Meg the other day.
I love you
but I
too.
couldn't get a video of it. I was so mad.
Oh my god. I'm so obsessed with him. It's crazy. I'm like, this is why people do this.
Oh my god. Okay, back to the firefighters.
Oh, wait. So sorry. The
real daddies.
The conclusion of this story is you need to call your husband daddy more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can always say Colin, and then Eddie from the back seat goes like, bye, Colin.
That's kind of fun.
It is funny.
Yeah.
But yes, the daddies of the fire department, they show up. The daddies and the mommies.
Not real ones. So someone goes up to talk to Nathan. Man, I'm out of control today. Asher. I'm like, the show's over. We're back to Nathan Fielder. No, I was really bad the first episode, and then I felt like so good about it, all the other ones, and now I'm like, oh, the show's done. No. Someone goes up to check on Asher, and he's trying to explain, like, I'm going to rocket up into space, and he comes up with a pretty good plan. He's like, you have to throw a net over me, attach it to the truck, and crank me down. And all of the firefighters collectively said, nope, don't care. So they set up this big airbag underneath the branch, and then they make it seem as if they're going to tranquilize him. And they send someone up. They send someone up to like pretend to put a net over him, which is also weird and crazy. And instead of like spreading it out nicely, they just like kind of place it in a bundle on top of him really poorly. And
it's
he's
so
like,
bad.
what
they don't
are
even
you
try.
Doing? They don't even try. They don't even try to check anything, which I kind of understand. They probably see a lot of people who are having mental breakdowns and who are saying like incorrect things. And no one's ever seen this before. None of the neighbors know what's happening. They're all asking what's happening. They think they're filming a show. Nobody else. Moses and Whitney are the only people who have seen what's happened. And Whitney's occupied. But now we've learned that Moses isn't even going into the room with her.
Yeah.
Do you not feel obligated to like check, to do something, to do literally anything? You clearly didn't give any information. So
Like, give Dougie a call.
check
and
in.
be like, hey, what's going on with Asher?
This insane thing I witnessed earlier today, like, he's not curious enough. He's not nosy enough. I'd be calling back.
If Moses was a woman, this would never have happened because we are nosy as fuck, and we would be like, we need to find out what the hell's going on with that man.
FaceTime me. Oh, you're shooting it from a drone? Can you live stream it? What is happening?
Yeah.
I held a man and he shot up into a tree out of my arms and I just walked away. I'd be like, what? So then the firefighter goes back up and it really seems like she's about to tranquilize Nathan.
Yeah, I thought that's where this was headed for sure.
She like has a bag and then pulls out a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Which is like so insanely dangerous to be wielding a chainsaw in front of a person you think is having a mental breakdown. And you're just going to cut this massive branch. Like, it's so big and heavy. Cut this massive branch off and have it fall onto the airbag. You don't know how much that weighs. You're going to crush his arms into the ground. It's going to, like, it could pop the airbag. Like, this is an enormous branch. This is the worst decision making I've ever seen. All in sequence from so many people. It's crazy.
I don't know if she was thinking that, like, as soon as she pulled the chainsaw out that he would just let go, maybe. But yeah, it feels like this was not a well thought out plan from the fire department. Even if he is having some sort of like mental breakdown or, you know, psychosis or something, like, why would you not get someone else involved? Like, the airbag is there. You know, he's like, if he lets go and falls, he's going to be okay. Like, can't you bring someone else in to talk to him and like evaluate him? Like, call a freaking doctor.
Put a harness on this man.
Yeah. Call a paramedic. Call someone.
Don't wield a sharp blade by his legs while he's screaming.
Yeah.
This is the worst fire department. They're leaving chicken in bathrooms. They're not cleaning up. They're hitting on people on TV while they have wives. They're pulling out chainsaws. They're like poorly setting things up. And they're moving with zero urgency. There could be other fires going on around town. Move with a little haste.
Yeah.
Walk with purpose.
Maybe they already have beef with Asher because we know that the system that he installed in their firehouse is causing them to like lose power every few minutes.
Maybe. Dougie is just filming away. He even tries to get the firefighter to clip like a mic by Nathan,
into the branch.
By Asher, so he can hear what's going on, pretending like he's going to go and try to talk Nathan down and help out. But I do have I think it's an insane thing to do to a friend, but obviously nobody thinks for real he's about to shoot off into space.
Yeah, I think it just goes back to the fact that, like, Dougie, if your friend is having a mental breakdown, like, why are you profiting off of this? Like, why are you being so
They're not friends.
Rude.
They're not friends.
I guess.
He grew up bullying. He grew up bullying Asher. And then he got Asher's wife to bully Asher. And now he's back to bullying Asher again on TV. Or he's trying to, even after the network said we don't want to show their relationship going poorly. He's like, oh, I'm just going to film this for fun. Instead of going up there and talking to your friend, like going up the ladder and trying to talk him down, you're like, oh, I got to film this.
I feel like he just can't help himself. Like, he's just one of those people who he's like, it seems like maybe he's trying to be better. Like, I feel like there's a couple times in the whole show where, like, it seems like maybe he's trying to be a better person. Like, when he's like, hey, let's not show Asher the footage, for example.
That was a good
and
part.
Then, like, but then he always reverts back to just being a piece of shit again.
Yeah.
As we see.
Okay.
In this episode.
You wrote something crazy in the notes. You said that this
I
was going to
did.
be romantic between Dougie and Asher.
Well,
Again.
I was just saying, like, maybe this is finally it. Like, we're
What?
finally getting it.
No, that was like the most delusional note I've ever read of yours. What was happening?
That was private, okay?
In our public notes. The notes we in our public Google Doc.
Yeah, don't you dare try and hack our Google Docs. Anyone listening? There's some stuff in there. Google's trying to train their AI using my notes. Like, everyone's just going to be fucking every time they ask Gemini any questions. So hope you all are ready for that.
Yeah, if a note that you write in our Google Doc is a secret, you have to make it like an alarming color. You have to like put like something around it that be like for your eyes only. I felt that this was about to be a really romantic scene where Dougie fireman carries Asher down from the tree and cradles him.
Well, like, okay, for context, I write the notes like while I'm watching, so it's not like I watched and then like rewatched and wrote them. Like, I'm like, this is first pass, like I'm experiencing it in real time, so it's like a stream of consciousness where I'm like, maybe this is the romance.
Like, Colin's a good guy, he's a romantic normal guy, maybe. Like, the fact that you keep finding romance in all these like hyper non-romantic situations. Like, no part of this was romantic in any way.
I mean, Dougie cried a lot when Asher flew off into space.
As he should. His friend just...
He blames him.
Although I keep saying they're not friends. A person he knows just died. And he could have prevented it.
It's a little bit his fault.
It's a little bit... It's not like fully his fault, because who could have ever expected this? But it was certainly preventable with proper communication.
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, the thing is, this is Dougie's show, right? And Dougie seemingly was pushing this narrative between Whitney and Asher and like their bad marriage. And like, clearly Whitney had these thoughts from before, but it feels like the show is what really brought it out. And like, those feelings seemingly are what made Asher fly off into space. So in a way, this is Dougie's fault.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I can see that.
I'm Charlie with the red thread. When that scene in It's Always Sunny.
Always Sunny, yeah. Yes. Yeah, we could blame Dougie for this. And really, we could blame the fact that his show, what is it, Burning Love? That show not being successful is why Asher died. Because if he was busy with other shows, none of this would have happened. So if he had just done a better job on this show, Asher would be alive.
I feel like that's the conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so they don't really put the net on, and Asher is like, no, you guys don't understand. And then she chainsaws through the branch, and Asher literally just flies away.
Yeah, just
like into the sky.
Shoots up. The branch falls, and he just rockets straight up. And it's just like flailing around. And then everyone kind of realizes what happened and is very, very confused. But they should have drone footage of it.
Yeah. Okay. The craziest thing is like the drone guy is like very excited about this.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Like, he was like, oh, like, I think I'm getting him like over here. It's like, there's no ending in which Asher's okay.
You do want to track him. Like, wasn't there like some balloon boy? Like, maybe they think there's something that could still be done. Like, if you're tracking him. Also, why is no one calling like the military? Should there be a fighter jet doing something? I don't know what's to be done, but it feels like more action should be being taken.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like now Espanola is going to be like hotbed for conspiracy theory, like hotbed for...
I don't think anybody's going to accept what they saw. They're just going to be like, oh, it was for a TV show.
I mean, Dougie knows what he saw.
Does he? They have the drone footage. So
they have the footage.
He must think he's cursed, right? Now he can probably confirm like, oh, this really wasn't me. He's
Also, like,
just found a loophole for justifying his wife's death.
yeah, but like also like he cursed Asher.
Yeah.
And we never saw anything happen after that that was bad. I feel like this could be part of his curse.
Okay. Yeah. So the rest of it, really not that much more happens. We get a lot of shots of the baby being born and of Asher shooting up into space. And then seemingly Asher dies as the baby is born. So maybe
Yeah.
he is reincarnated as his own son.
He was a little bit in Whitney, remember? So
Wish I didn't.
also, okay, when Whitney like meets her baby, they ask if she wants her doula, and she does say no. And they also ask if she wants her husband, and she's like, sure, but she doesn't seem like super worried about it.
Yeah,
that was my read on it.
Yeah, everyone should. I feel a little bad, and not that Asher is a great person, but he certainly didn't deserve to die. He did just gift a house to someone. But yeah, not enough karma in the world could fix you trying to take over a small town, I guess, with passive houses, and that's your fault.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we can come up with like a good meaning behind the show. Like, I think what you were saying, we should maybe go back and rewatch the second last episode, and specifically after that fight scene, to see what Asher said about I'll stay until you want me to leave.
I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I think I remember he said something very similar to that. And so I think maybe this curse, or like she realized in that moment, I want you to leave.
Yeah.
And
I think you should leave.
Oh, everyone keeps asking us to watch that or to comment on it. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of would be the conclusion. Would be that, I think Colin's right that Whitney cursed Asher the moment she realized, like, I want you gone and don't need you anymore. I thought that I needed you. I needed you to have this baby. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at my notes from the last episode, and I had that Asher said that when he was like explaining all these things about how he was going to change, he's like, yeah, I am dragging you down, which I feel like is interesting when he is then dragged into space. So yeah, it feels like the moral of the story is like, be privileged, kind of awful white lady, and profit, and everything will go your way.
And then when you don't want your husband around anymore, instead of having to talk to him, you'll just curse him. You'll gravity curse him, and he can get launched into space. So you also don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good way to solve your problems. Cursing people.
Yes. So, is there anything else that we feel was wrapped up? Is there anything that you were really hoping would get wrapped up that wasn't?
So many things.
Literally everything.
Like, I guess most of the main storylines were wrapped up. Like, we got closure on the casino. Like, I guess this is kind of closure on the cursing. Like, it seems like this was somewhat paranormal.
If anything,
supernatural.
If anything, it's like, cursing is for sure real now. And we could have, if there is a season 2, there could be, who's Whitney / Dougie / Nala's next victim, or like, how does your life play out after this? I don't know. If they did want to do another season, there is more that could be done, but it does feel very wrapped up. Like they were the curse on Espanola, and maybe now the curse has been lifted.
Yeah, I'm also like, I was just trying to think of like, who is the hero?
Oh, no one
in this story.
No one.
You think it's nobody?
There's no hero.
There's no hero at all?
No, there's only villains.
Okay, because I'm thinking like the hero's journey type of thing.
Yeah.
where like we could maybe find a way to track this show and make it so that Asher was the hero. I don't know. But then I don't know. I feel like we didn't make it through the whole journey at that point.
Unless he's reincarnated as his own son.
Yeah. I mean, the return could be next season. Resurrection.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that there are heroes of this show. I think it's one of those shows where just everyone is terrible and that's okay. And it's just like, you know, there's a lot of terrible people in life and it's just like that's who we were shown. Like they have okay qualities sometimes, but certainly not very redeemable ones. And you just keep seeing it happen over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could say Asher's an anti-hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's flawed for sure.
Yeah.
Driven by self-interest.
Yes.
I feel like toward the end, he kind of found self-discovery, and then his downfall was he got flung into space.
Yeah, like he got what he wanted. He wanted to have Whitney. He wanted a son. He, you know, was like selfless in giving the house away. Like he felt like the only thing I need is my family. I don't need things anymore. I have everything that I've ever wanted. And then his wife was like, well, too bad. I don't want you anymore. And
yeah,
big boy cursed him away.
Maybe that's the issue. Like when he's stuck in that tree, he's like, this is like the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
Like I was so excited. Maybe it's like, yeah, that he was too complete a character at the end. Like
he was finally going to be happy.
He was finally like reaching enlightenment, and yeah, he was going to be happy, and we couldn't have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So rest in peace, Asher. I guess.
Yeah. And we didn't even see like the conclusion or the follow-up or anything. Like, of course they left us hanging. We don't know anyone, like the fallout of anything. We just have to live with this.
Yeah, I feel like did they say if they've mapped out a season 2?
I'm not sure. I didn't read up on too much about what anyone was saying about the show, but that's something that we can dive into for our kind of follow-up episode and see what perhaps the real theories are, and maybe what actually happened. Because maybe there's something that we miss, and it's like, oh, obviously this was Nala who did this, or obviously it was so-and-so, or obviously Dougie and him are in love. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I just Googled like season 2, and there is someone who said he told Whitney he'd disappear if she didn't want him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the one part that kind of I was remembering that stuck out to me.
Yeah. Okay, well, shall we play our voicemail?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's listen to a voicemail we got just before we started recording.
Hey friends, it's Nathan Superfan Rubin here again, and I'm here to convince you of who the true villain of the curse is. You see, while it was airing week to week, various Nathan for You shitposting groups all were having the discussion, who is the villain, Whitney or Asher? Wanting so badly someone to root against. Something I loved about the curse is that people are complicated and it isn't so simple. Because at the end of the day, I think every character would either want to do good or wants to be seen doing good, and then whether that's genuine is a whole other argument. However, all except the doula. The doula is truly evil for 2 reasons.
Yes, Moses
First,
sucks.
him saying, trust me, and then completely letting go of Asher.
Yeah.
That left a pit in my stomach, because you'd think someone who you're trusting to help deliver your child and provide family care throughout would also be trustworthy of delivering you to the ground.
Yeah.
He didn't seem all that sorry. Leading into my second point.
Mm-hmm.
When the doula called Dougie to help Asher, all he said was, he flew into a tree.
Yes.
Less than 1 sentence. He could have taken 10 more seconds to explain to Dougie that, no, he literally flew into a tree. That lack of detail sealed Asher's fate, as Dougie, of course, immediately sees this as a cash cow and another way to make a name for himself and do good in his own way by exposing the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Whitney better have given to the doula 20 times what she gave the Gene Store, because his dedication was unfounded and honestly quite henchman-like.
Yes.
That's all. Thanks.
Yes, Ruben.
I love this.
Okay, incredible. 100% agree at every point. I feel like I've been shit-talking Moses the whole episode, actually. That guy sucks. Terrible.
I'm obsessed with him being called a henchman. Like
It
in my
is
mind
very
now,
funny.
it's like he was working with Whitney, and Whitney was like, all right, just like fling him up into that tree and like we're just gonna go.
Okay, he should have tied a rope around him before trying to pull him down, right? And the man's
Yeah.
forearms are the size of legs. Like, it
And
did.
like
Yeah.
also Moses, I think Moses was bigger than Asher, like physically
So
larger
much.
than Asher.
Yes.
So it does feel like, yeah, if you are grabbing Asher and he's like physically pulling you up, how
Mhm.
would you not be more concerned than he was?
Yes. 100%. Yeah. There's something shady with that man. For sure. For sure. I love him being a henchman. Yeah. Didn't like him at
Yeah.
all. But there's no one where I'm like, oh, I adore you. So.
Yeah, you know what? You know what I was just thinking about? We talked about like Dr. Brown earlier, and I can't remember. I feel like we had weird takes on him too. Maybe they're in cahoots.
Something funky's happening. Nobody cares about Asher, which I feel like for so long throughout the whole show, nobody's really cared about Asher, and that's like very sad.
Yeah, I mean, even like Whitney's parents don't really care about him.
No, they just point out his flaws as well.
Yeah. Oh, poor Asher and his small dick.
R.I.P. to the cherry tomato gang. We lost a king.
Yeah. we lost all the cherry tomato representation on TV. But yes, thank you so much, Ruben, for calling in. That was very funny. I think we had not listened to the voicemail before we recorded because we knew that it was a question about who the villain was, and we didn't want to reveal before we had a chance to talk. So glad to see we're on the same page as you and the ship posters on the Nathan For You pages.
So, I can't believe it. We've done all of Nathan For You, all of the rehearsal, and now all of the curse. Kelly, do you want to say what we're going to do next?
Yes. Well, so like we said, we are going to do some kind of deep dive onto what Benny and Nathan have said about making the show and just kind of their thoughts on it. Maybe do a little more reading on what people thought of when it ended, and see if people had different takes than us, which I'm sure that they did, but I think we're pretty interested to read what other people were saying. If you have thoughts, please call in or send us an email or DM us, like whatever you feel comfortable doing, because we'd love to chat with more people about this.
I do love the voice notes. I feel like they're so fun.
Yeah.
Like, I love putting voices to names. It makes me very happy in my heart. So please leave a voice note.
Yes, and we were trying to think of what we could do next that could be kind of fun and a little different. And I know Nathan was in the holiday movie the night before, so we're gonna watch that. I think he has like a really small role. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember it being pretty funny.
I've never seen it.
It's pretty funny. It's like a Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Anthony Mackie movie. I think they go to like a Christmas party or something. I don't know, but Nathan is in the movie briefly, so we're gonna check that out since it is the holidays.
Yeah, so that will be like our little holiday special. So we'll do a little recap, kind of conclusion on the curse, do a little holiday special, and then we'll check in after that, see if we're gonna go back to the chair company.
Yes, I watched the first 2 episodes of Chair Company, and I did take notes.
Yeah, I think we could do it. There was a few people who said like, oh, you got to stick to the Nathan content, but there's not that much more.
I know.
There's not that many more
left.
things. So we'll think about it, but we'll get you covered for the next few weeks. Don't worry about it. And send in voice notes. Kelly, did you want to tell them about your hockey rivalry spinoff?
Meg was really wanting me to talk about this.
You were
on the
just
podcast.
so enthusiastic, and I didn't know what was happening, so maybe it'll resonate with someone.
Yeah, so if anyone isn't aware, if anyone isn't on the same algorithm as me, there is a new TV show that came out. This is not at all related to Nathan Fielder content, so I'm not saying this is like a Nathan Fielder type show. I actually feel like it's could not be further from a Nathan Fielder type show. But yeah, last week, I believe on the 28th of November, this show dropped called Heated Rivalry. and it's
You
based on.
think it was the 28th of November?
I believe
it might have been the 28th
I
of
believe
November.
on the 28th of November, Heated Rivalry dropped the first 2 episodes, and it's a hockey romance show based on a romance novel series that I haven't read, but I started getting all this content because it's like a Canadian produced show. So we've talked briefly about CanCon before, but for anyone who doesn't know, in Canada, we have these laws that basically mandate that a certain percentage of all of the content that we have on TV in Canada has to be made in Canada. So this show falls under CanCon and got funding from the Canadian government. And I'm not kidding. It is literally like hockey smut. It is a gay hockey smut show. There's a guy who's on a Canadian team, and there's a guy who's Russian, and they are rivals on the ice, but also they are fucking. And if you want to talk to me about heated rivalries, I am sad because I need to know what's going to go down next.
That is so funny. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about it. I haven't heard anything about it. I will keep getting updates from you for sure. It's so funny. When she was like, guess what happens? Guess who it's with? I'm like, what are we talking about?
Like, I think I said I've never felt more patriotic in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, yes. Thank God my tax dollars went to this. Like, if I need to be taxed twice as much so they can make more, like, I will pay more taxes if they're going to produce more of this show.
That's not an offer from all Canadians. It's just Kelly funding this show. I didn't know you were so passionate about hockey.
I don't even really care about hockey.
I'm going to have to look what it is. I'm going to have to look these people up.
Colin was like, I heard they don't really play hockey. I'm like, there was like a solid 5 minutes of hockey, okay? Like, okay. Relax.
There was a lot of handling of things.
It's like full on. Like I put it on because like the reason I put it on is because I saw a TikTok where someone was like, I'm laughing that the Canadian government produced this show. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And then I scrolled a little more and I got another guy who was like, I'm going to describe to you what an episode of Heated Rivalry is like. And he's like, okay, they're at a hockey game. They like say something to each other. There's the next scene, jump cuts. They're at a hotel. They're having sex in a hotel. 6 months later, they're at another hockey game. They say something to each other. They have sex in a hotel room. 6 months later, they're at another hockey game. It's like
the
literally
schedule is very far apart. They don't play against Russia often.
Well, sorry. So the Russian guy actually plays for a Boston team, and the guy from Ottawa plays for a Montreal team. But they're not like the Canadians and the Bruins, because I imagine the NHL did not want anything to do with this. So it's like a fake league.
What do you mean?
And the Russian guy has some like family stuff going on. Anyway,
and
it's
sorry,
really
how many
good.
episodes have you seen?
2.
Okay, he's got some family stuff going on.
Yeah, he's like got some stuff going home back in Russia. There's some stuff going on. Like it seems like his family's into some bad stuff. His family's into some bad stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Real stereotypes.
There's definitely some stuff going on.
Oh man, do you want to tell people where to find us?
Yeah.
If they still want to find us.
Yeah, we're at Nathan For Us Pod. This is a podcast about Nathan Fielder, not about heated rivalry, but maybe we'll explore that someday. At Nathan For Us Podcast on TikTok. We're nathanforuspodcast@gmail.com if you want to email us. I'll post the thing to send us a voicemail in our show notes as well. And check us out on YouTube at Nathan For Us Podcast.
This has been Kelly and Megan on your side.